Welcome back, Mohammed.
Yeah, hello, how are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah. So we had a discussion, I believe was on Saturday last week, about the Quran confirming the Bible, right?
Yeah, you have to refresh me, but you know, yes.
Yeah. I tried to use verses, for example, Surah Ma'idah verse 43, or no, Surah Ma'idah verse 48, where I said that the Quran is the supreme authority. And then you
Okay.
corrected me. You corrected me and you said it's a guardian over it.
hmm hmm Okay.
And yeah, after that discussion, I had a discussion with a knowledgeable Muslim,
hmm
and he told me that Quran verse 279, Surah 2 verse 79, it says
hmm
that it's the Bible is corrupted.
It's corrupted. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, I asked him some questions at first. I told him, so what is the Quran confirming? Well, he told me that the Quran is confirming the parts of the book, meaning like
Yeah,
uh,
it's
there's parts
confirmed.
that are true. So
Yeah,
the
the
parts
parts that
that,
are true.
yeah, the parts that are true, that's what the Allah is alluding to.
Yeah.
And he backed it up by using 279 for example, and the hadith Ibn Abbas saying that the
Mm. Whew.
what's it called,
Why do
the scriptures has been contaminated
yeah,
on
they
it.
distorted their scriptures and changed it or wrote another book with their own hands.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I basically, like, to get his understanding, I basically used your arguments on him to see, like, how will he answer it.
hmm
Yeah.
And so you came back thinking that it's solid, that you have solid responses, right?
Yeah.
All right, you ready to test that?
I for sure we'll see.
Okay, so let's start off with 279. How he said that 279 is saying that the Bible is corrupted, and that 279 also shows that it's part of the scriptures that it confirms, not all of it. Okay, so let's open up 279, bro. And let's look at it really quick. Let's look at it in its context. We'll read like 75 to 79. Okay. So he told you that this was about the entire Bible?
Not the Bible necessarily, but like the Torah, the Jews basically.
Got it. Okay, good. At least he was honest with
And
that.
wait, he also said that the books, nobody can change Allah's words. Like the Torah and the Injil
Mhm.
contains everything that's in the Torah, and the Injil contains everything in the Bible. But there's additions and falsehood in the Bible, which makes it corrupt.
But I thought that no one can change Allah's words.
They're not changing Allah's words, but they're adding to it,
Yeah.
addition and
Right. If they
falsehood.
right. So if Allah's words are this, but
Yes.
then they start adding words, that means that his words has been changed, right?
Yeah, you have a point, but what's it called? But they're not. Allah's words are still not being changed, right?
It is. It's being added to. Whether it's taken away from, subtracted, or added to, that's the change. It's not the same as he originally revealed it.
Okay, but what Ibn Abbas says in the tafsir, I think it's Surah Al Imran,
Verse
verse 78.
78. Yeah.
Yeah, it says that the people, what it means, that the people corrupted it by adding on to the
Well,
scripture.
but hold on. Okay, so let's look at what he says. Let's look at what Ibn Abbas says. Because this is what he showed you? 378, Ibn Abbas?
Yeah, it showed me 378. He showed me 279.
Okay, wow. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Okay, look. Let me go ahead and open this up. I can't believe this. Okay, so this is 378, the Tafsir Ibn Kathir, when he quotes Ibn Abbas,
Yes.
who distort the book with their tongues, right?
Yep.
So the verses said, talking about how they distort with their tongues. They're lying about the verses, not actually going in and writing it, but they're lying about what it says. So it breaks down and says this. Sahih Bukhari reported that Ibn Abbas said that the ayah means that they alter and add, although none among Allah's creation can remove the words of Allah from his books.
Yeah,
So,
so like what he's trying to say is that nobody can remove the words of Allah from his books, but people can add onto it.
but okay, that wouldn't make any sense if none can change or do anything to Allah's books when it says they alter and they add, although none among Allah's creation can remove the words of Allah from his books. This is what he says. They alter and distort their apparent meanings. So they're not going in and changing the text. They're just misinterpreting the text and distorting the meaning of the text.
Okay, so what about when it says alter and add? What does that mean?
That's what it's talking about. So it says, so the ayah means they alter and add how? Remember, the verse is saying who distort the book with their tongue. How do they distort the book? How are they distorting? How are they adding? How are they altering? They're doing all of this with their mouths, with their tongues. Okay. And so he clarifies this by saying they alter and distort how? Their apparent meanings. Okay. This is why Wahb bin Munabi, if you continue, another companion, he says this. Wahb bin Munabi said, the Torah and the Injil remain as Allah revealed them.
Oh, okay, I see that. I see it. So
Right?
they add by false interpretations.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the other hadith in Sahih Bukhari, Ibn Abbas states that he basically says the exact opposite of this.
Exactly. Yes, you're right. So this is the problem that you fall into. It's either Ibn Abbas is contradicting himself because they're both in Bukhari. Both of these quotations from Ibn Abbas are in Bukhari, right? So they're both sound and Sahih and everything, both in Bukhari in his collection.
So which one is right?
Well, I would say this, I'm no fan of Ibn Abbas, but I try to be as fair and charitable as I can be. I don't think that Ibn Abbas is contradicting himself. I think that what he's saying in the other hadith where it says they distort and they alter and distort their scriptures and change them, writing books with their own hands. I think that he means the same thing he's saying here, that it's not that they are distorting the actual books of Allah, the actual Torah and the actual gospel, but they went on and made up their own books and claimed that they were from God. So these are fake books, not the real Torah, not the real gospel that they're changing, but they're coming up with their own books.
So their own books.
Yeah.
I remember in one live stream you said it was the Talmud, right?
Exactly.
Why do you say it's the why do you say it's the Talmud?
Because the Talmud is not written by prophets or it's not revelation from God, but it's the writings and interpretations of rabbis. And they take these teachings and set it at the same level as the Torah, or even above it, actually. Matter of fact, we got a Messianic rabbi here who could touch on that.
What's up, everybody?
You need intro music, man.
Yeah, for real. Like Hava Nagila or something fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a trap remix of it. Yeah, so what's up, man? So yeah, that's a fact, right? When you go into the Talmud Berachot 5a, the Talmud teaches us that everything was given to Moses on Mount Sinai, including the prophets, the writings, and all of the parts of the Talmud, the Mishnah, the Gemara. And Rambam, a later halakhic codifier, goes on to add the Sifra and the Sifrei to these compilations. So all these extra books where they say were given to Moses on Mount Sinai.
Okay, so when the Jews say that they write a book and say this is from Allah, no Jew says that what they write is the book of Allah. No Jew says that.
No, yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to show you right now.
Well,
All right,
I'm not going. Okay, look, I'm not going based on my interpretations, but basically what basically what other Muslims tell me, like knowledgeable Muslims, more knowledgeable.
Those Muslims are not knowledgeable on Judaism. So if I could share my screen real quick, just all due respect and love, brother. I mean, this is something that even rabbinic Jews give me a hard time about this, but you can't really get away from the sources, right? So let me.
So you
let
wait,
me
hold
pull
up. So
that
you're
thing.
claiming that the Talmud is is it from Allah or is it from God?
Claiming that the Jews claim that the God of Israel gave the oral Torah to Moses on Mount Sinai, right? So in Exodus 24:12, it says that I will give you stone tablets, the Torah, the commandment that I've written that you may teach them. This is in the Torah, Exodus 25:12. And here goes the rabbinic interpretation of this passage. It says the tablets, these are the 10 commandments, okay? When it says Torah in this verse, that is the 5 books of Moses. When it says mitzvah, this is the Mishnah. This is the core of the oral Torah that makes up both of the Talmuds, the Talmud that's in Jerusalem and the Talmud from Babylon. And then when it says that I've written, this phrase in Exodus 24:12 refers to the prophets and the writings, which happen after Moses goes up to Mount Sinai. And then when it says that you may teach them, it refers to the Talmud, which explains the Mishnah. And it goes on to say that this verse teaches that all aspects of the Torah were given to Moses on Mount Sinai. What are the aspects of the Torah? It is the Torah, the prophets, the writings, the Mishnah, and the Gemara, which make up the Talmud. That it was all given to Moses on Mount Sinai. Who gave it to Moses on Mount Sinai? God himself. Therefore, the rabbis claim that the oral Torah came out of the mouth of God.
Which is
Okay.
the Talmud, which includes
All
the
right.
Talmud.
Which includes what?
The Talmud, right?
Yeah, well, this is the Talmud. It literally says the Talmud, right? So the
Yeah.
Mishnah and the Gemara make up the Talmud. It was given to Moses on Mount Sinai, according to the rabbis, meaning that it is the words of God, or you would say the words of Allah.
Man.
Okay, all right, okay, I understand. So so what the
Those
Muslim
Muslims don't know. So those Muslims don't know what they're talking about, right? About Judaism.
yeah. So the Muslim also told me that what Allah is confirming is the revelation that was in the Injil and in the Torah, the ones that don't contradict with Islam, because we know that the Quran is the final revelation, and
Yeah.
anything that contradicts with it, it must be false.
Yeah. So there's a huge.
Because he also used this same hadith where Ibn Abbas says that the book has been contaminated, and
Right.
the Quran is the most basically the pure book.
Right. So like we said with Ibn Abbas, what Ibn Abbas clearly told us is that Allah's books cannot be contaminated with the hands in the text, but only can be contaminated by the misinterpretation and false interpretation by the people.
And
So
writing of other books, right?
and writing of other books, writing the books with their own hands. So the actual Torah, the 5 books of Moses, the actual gospel that was written by Jesus's disciples cannot be changed, cannot be messed with, the actual text. But people can misinterpret, put in false interpretations, and people can write books themselves and say, hey, this is from God, and trying to sell it off and stuff like that. That's what 279 says. It says, woe to those who write the book with their own hands, claiming that it's from God, seeking a small price, right? So it's not saying that they're actually rewriting the Torah, but that they are, writing books with their own hands, making up their own books, claiming that it's from God, putting it on the same level as the Torah, which is what we just saw what Radar showed us.
Yes. Something that actually bothered me, and I never told any Muslims, is that the same Muslims that use Isaiah 42,
Yeah.
that's it, they say that that's a prophecy of Muhammad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's a prophecy, that means Isaiah 42 is from Allah, right?
It's from God, exactly.
And as Muslims, we know that the Torah was revealed to Moses and Injil was revealed to Jesus. So how do we know that Isaiah 42 is actually revealed to Moses? But it doesn't make sense, because Isaiah 42 is a prophecy of Prophet Muhammad, right?
Yeah, and by the way, that comes generations after Moses. It wouldn't be writing from Moses.
Yeah. So wouldn't that mean that they're confirming Isaiah 42 to be reliable?
Yeah, man, you hit it right on the nail. this is the problem that we bring to Muslims who do this. Like, it's not just Isaiah 42, it's also Deuteronomy 18. The prophet
Wait,
like
hold up.
Moses.
Deuteronomy is during the time of Moses, right?
Yeah, Moses wrote Deuteronomy.
So okay, if they use Deuteronomy, I wouldn't care because it's like during the time of Moses. But something like Isaiah or Song of Solomon's like way after Moses and before Jesus.
Yeah. So they're using these scriptures while at the same time saying that these scriptures are corrupted and false, but going into these scriptures and saying, yes, God revealed these. You see how even you sense the inconsistency there. It doesn't make sense.
I kind of sense it. It's kind of inconsistent there. Like, which I had a question. I actually
Can I comment on what Muhammad said? I didn't want to come in the midst. I didn't know you have others, but about the issue of the Torah being given to Moses.
Yeah.
I want Muhammad to understand something. When the Muslims tell you that the Torah was given to Moses, I don't know if you know this. Nowhere in the Quran does it say the Torah was given to Moses.
Yeah, that was another of my questions. Like, it never says that, but there
Exactly.
were like books. There were books given to Moses.
Yeah, the reason why that's important is because if you go with the early Muslims, the Salaf, they have no problem with Isaiah 42 being the Torah, because the Muslim tradition says that Muhammad's companions, their followers, and the followers after them use the word Torah for all the books of the Jews and Christians. So they would not have a problem with Isaiah 42 being identified as a Torah. If you go with Islamic history, I have an article on this where I quote Ibn Kathir and others saying this. So it's only the Muslims today that have a problem, or Muslims today who say that the Torah is given to Moses. That's not what the Quran says, nor is that the position of the first three generations of Muslims. So if you were living at the time of Muhammad and you quote Isaiah 42, they would call it the Torah. They had no problem with that.
Okay, what about the hadiths that say that?
Yeah, that's where they get it from, the hadiths. Here, let me show you the article. I'm gonna give him the article because I can't screen share. So this is what these Muslims are burying themselves when they limit the word Torah to the books of Moses. But if you go to the Muslims and if you go to the commentaries of Ibn Kathir, they'll say no. The Salaf, meaning Muhammad's companions, the Tabi'in, their disciples, and the Tabi'in, their followers, use the word Torah for the scriptures of the two people of the book. Here, I'll give it to you. I'm going to show it to you. So it's technically early Islam called all the books Torah. It's modern Muslims who want to try to disassociate the Old Testament from being confirmed in the Quran. Let me just get you the article 1 second. So that's why I wanted to chime in. So if you go with historic Islam, yeah, Isaiah 42 is the Torah. Here it is. Here's the article. Now he's got to bring it up on the screen and share it. I can't do it. And you're going to see I quote Ibn Kathir, and they quote Bukhari to confirm it, that Isaiah 42 is called the Torah. It's right there. So he's got the article.
I got about to put it up in here.
This is one of the objections I use against them. I say the Quran nowhere confirms the Torah as being given to Moses. It says the Torah, but it doesn't tell you who it was given to. Sorry, I just came from my live stream, so my voice. So if you look at it right there, you'll see. If you open it up, I can't see, dude. Unless you got glasses and supervision, I can't read that.
Can you see now?
Well, hopefully you can. You read it, man, because you got.
Where you want me to read at?
Read where Ibn Kathir, in his exposition of chapter 7, verse 157, where it says they'll find a prophecy in the Torah. Look what he says right there.
So Ibn Kathir explaining it right here. He says Ibn Jarir recorded that Muthana said that Atta bin Yasser said, I met Abdullah bin Ahmar and asked him, tell me about the description of Allah's messenger in the Torah. He said, yes, by Allah, he is described in the Torah, just as he is described in the Quran. O Prophet, we have sent you as a witness and a bearer of glad tidings and a warner, right? As a safe refuge for the unlettered ones. You are my servant and messenger. I have called you, who trust in Allah, not hard or harsh, neither uttering foul speech in the markets, nor returning evil deed with one in kind. Rather, he forgives and forgoes. Allah will not end his life until he straightens through him the crooked religion, so that they might proclaim.
By the way, Avery, this is an Arabicized butchering of Isaiah 42.
Clearly.
But because it's not the books of Moses, but it's a Arabicized butchering of Isaiah 42, you're going to see it was called the Torah. And then Ibn Kathir explains why this passage that supposedly Isaiah 42 is called the Torah. Keep reading.
All right. So that they might proclaim there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. He will open through him sealed hearts, deaf ears, and blind eyes. Atas then said, I almost met Ka'b and asked him the same question, and his answer did not differ from Abdullah's answer, even
Ka'b
concerning-
al-Ahbar, I just want people to understand. Ka'b al-Ahbar is a Jew who supposedly became a Muslim. So he asked, okay, you're a Jew, you know the scriptures. Is there a prophecy Muhammad? And he said, yeah, this one here. Now watch what Ibn Kathir will say, and he cites Bukhari as an authority.
Yeah, Bukhari recorded it from Abdullah bin Ahmar. It was also recorded by Bukhari up to the word foregoes. And he mentioned the narration of Abdullah bin Amr. Then he said, it was common in the speech of our Salaf that they describe the books of the people of the two scriptures as the Torah, as some hadiths concur.
That answers your question. They're getting it from the hadith. Now, I quote Ibn Kathir elsewhere, and you'll see it again. This is an English translation of Al-Sirah al-Nabawiyah. It's in 4 volumes. It's volume 1, page 237. Again, look what Ibn Kathir says there.
All right. And it should be recognized that many of our forebears used to apply the word Torah to the books of the peoples of the scriptures. These are, in their view, more comprehensive than those God revealed to Moses.
There you go. End of story. So it is not incorrect if you go with historic Islam. See, I'm not making a distinction between Islam, historically understood, and modern Muslim da'is, to use the term Torah for all the scriptures, but then that buries them. Because their argument against the Quran confirming the Bible is, no. The Quran confirms the original Torah given to Moses. No, it doesn't. It doesn't even tell you the Torah was given to Moses. So someone who knows Islamic history can tell you, yeah, Isaiah 42.
Or they say parts of it.
Say it again?
They say parts of it.
Yeah, but my point is they'll tell you that it's not confirming Old Testament or New Testament. It's confirming the books of Moses, parts of it, and the original Injil, which you don't have. But that's nonsense, because you just had an admission from Muhammad's companions, their followers. The Torah refers to the entirety, the entire corpus of their scriptures at that time.
Yes. I have 2 questions. One question is in Sunan Abu Dawud 4449, I believe, where it says that I believe in you and
Yes.
the one who revealed you. Some Muslims like to say that that hadith is da'if, because there's the chain of narration is da'if.
Da'if. Who said it's da'if when it even tells you it's
It said no, because it says like Hassan.
yes.
But the chain of narration is da'if.
So now let's follow the genius of these Muslims, because I'm going to show you this is one of the arguments that Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah used. Number 1, da'if means it passed. That's not my opinion. He can go right now on YouTube, put in Hamza Yusuf, da'if. Da'if means it passed. You can't reject it. Some Muslims will say you can use da'if hadith to encourage good behavior, but you can't use da'if hadith for legal matters. So even if it's da'if, that doesn't prove anything. Number two, this very hadith was used by a group of Muslims to show the Torah cannot be corrupted. So they did not know the classification of hadiths. So are they telling
Just to cut
me?
you in? Well, which Muslims?
Oh, my pleasure. The ones that mentioned by Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah. Here, let me show it to you. My pleasure, brother. So number 1, who told you the da'if is rejected?
Well,
What are they going to tell me?
I always hear it from like Muslim apologists saying da'if, you have to.
Yeah, but I'll tell them, who told you da'if is rejected? Okay, it's da'if. It means it passed. It is not forged. You can't say it's a forgery. It is weak in its chain, but it's still something we can't discard because it may have come from Muhammad, so it's included. And that's not my opinion here. Go to YouTube, open the channel for my friend here, because I can't do it. I can't screen share. And I'm going to show you what Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah said, that Ibn Kathir and others even quoted that hadith. But I guess Ibn Kathir doesn't know it's da'if and it should be rejected. So when you go to YouTube, type in Hamza Yusuf da'if, D-A-I-F, and he rebukes the Muslims who say, well, da'if hadith means it's rejected. He goes, no, it means it passed. And he gives you a grading. He says Sahih means like A plus. Hasan means A minus, B plus. Da'if is anywhere from C to D. That's Hamza Yusuf, not me, right there. Can you play him? Now, by the way, before you play him, pause, we can't hear the sound. You got to let YouTube know fair use, part of copyright law.
Wait, hold up. Just letting you know, I don't really got time.
Okay.
I know it's a 7-minute video.
No, okay, well, you can go watch it then if he doesn't. But it just can't.
Yeah,
And when you play it,
Yeah.
you do fair use. Copyright law allows you to use portions of videos for educational purposes. Now, here's the article. I guess even Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, who is the student of Ibn Taymiyyah, who is also a fellow student with Ibn Kathir, I guess the scholars that he mentions don't know what they're talking about. And he mentions Razi and Bukhari. Now, I just sent him the article. Yeah, all these canards, they've been refuted. So even though it's Hassan, according to one grading, but because there is a weakness in the chain, it's da'if. That still doesn't mean it's rejected. So when he puts up the article, you'll see it. Right there. Okay. Right here, I can't see it, but anyway. I even give the Arabic and the bottom. So if you scroll down, there's the Arabic for those who can read Arabic. So they won't think we're lying. If you scroll down to show them the Arabic. All right. Now, let me give you the background of this. Ibn Qayyim is mentioning the views of scholars regarding the Torah. The question is the Torah corrupted? He goes, there are 3 views. He's going to mention, I give you the 3 views. He goes, one view says it's been corrupted. The second view says it's not corrupted and cannot be corrupted, and they give evidence. And the third view says there's only some minor changes, but it's basically preserved. And he goes, and that third view is the view of Ibn Taymiyyah. So if you go back up, he gives 3 views. Now notice, the only view that gives evidence is the view that says the Torah cannot be corrupted. The only group that gave evidence, and he's going to read it for you right there before you go on. Group 1 says the Torah is corrupted. No evidence. The second group says the Torah cannot be corrupted, and it gives evidence from the Quran and Hadiths. The third group says some changes, but they're very minor, so the Torah has been preserved. And he goes, that's the view of Ibn Taymiyyah. Now start reading for him, brother. See what evidences they quote.
All right. So from the first party?
Yeah, because you want to see all 3 views.
Yep.
There are
So
3.
one party claimed that all or most of the Torah has been changed and it is not the same book, which was revealed to Allah by Allah to Moses. Their reason had to do with the variations of the text and the contradictions of some of its parts with the other parts, to the point that the text now allows ablution with urine.
All right. Anyway. Now that's their argument, right? Because variations, even though the Quranic manuscripts have thousands of variations. Now watch the second group. Does the second group give evidences? Let's read.
On the other side, another party of Hadith and Fiqh scholars said these changes took place during its interpretation and not during the process of its revelation. This is the view of Abi Abdullah, Muhammad bin Ishmael, al-Bukhari.
Al-Bukhari, who collected the hadith of Ibn Abbas, supposedly that the Torah has been corrupted. So Bukhari, I guess, didn't know what he's talking about, because he quotes a hadith, which I heard you guys mention, that Ibn Abbas supposedly says it's corrupted, but Bukhari says no, the books of Allah cannot be corrupted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Al-Bukhari, who said in his hadith collection, no one can corrupt the text by removing any of Allah's words from his books, but they corrupted it by misinterpreting it. Al-Razi also agrees with this opinion in his commentary. He said, there's a difference of opinions regarding this matter among some of the respectable scholars. Some of these scholars said the manuscript copies of the Torah were distributed everywhere, and no one knows the exact number of these copies.
Now,
Except
let me explain his logic here. He's saying, since the copies of the Torah have spread all over the world, it is impossible for it to have been corrupted because no one person could collect all the copies and change them. And he says it right there.
That's good. It is impossible to have a conspiracy to change or alter the word of God in all of these copies without missing any copy. Such a conspiracy will not be logical or possible.
Did you hear that, Muslims? This is Razi, one of yours, not ours. But keep reading.
And when Allah told his messenger to ask the Jews to bring their Torah and read it concerning the stoning command, they were not able to change this command from their copies. That is why they covered up the stoning verse while they were reading it to the prophet. It was then when Abdullah ibn Salam requested that they remove their hand so that the verse became clear. If they have changed or altered the Torah, then this verse would have been one of the important verses to be altered by the Jews.
You see how reasonable Razi is? He's saying, man, if they were corrupting the Torah by removing verses, they would have removed this verse. But it shows you they didn't remove anything. They just hid what was in their books. Keep reading.
Also, whenever the prophet would ask them concerning the prophecies about him in the Torah, they were not able to remove them either. And they would respond by stating that they are not about him and they are still waiting for the prophet in the Torah.
Before you read the hadith that your friend said it's weak, which is the other evidence they give, did you understand the reasoning of Razi? Well, these verses are still there in their copies. If they could, they would remove them. They didn't, because they didn't remove verses. They just hid them. And there are too many copies for anyone to corrupt. Such a conspiracy theory is impossible. Thank you, Razi, for sounding reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the hadith that your Muslim said is da'if. Abu Dawood.
All right. A group of Jewish people invited the messenger of Allah to a house. When he came, they asked him, "Oh, Abu Qasim, one of our men committed adultery with a woman. What is your judgment against him?" So they placed a pillow and asked the messenger of Allah to sit on it. Then the messenger of Allah proceeded to say, "Bring me the Torah." Naif. When they brought it, he removed the pillow from underneath him and placed the Torah on it and said, "I believe in you and in the one who revealed you." Then said, "Bring me one of you who have the most knowledge." So they brought him a young man who told him the story of the stoning.
Now, before you read, Ibn Qayyim is going to now say, this is one of the evidences the scholars use to do what? Read what he says.
The scholars said, if the Torah was corrupted, he would not have placed it on the pillow, and he would not have said, "I believe in you and in the one who revealed you."
No, man, it's da'if, you idiots. It's da'if. Because Mimi Hijab and Ali Drama said it's da'if. What are you doing, man? And you guys think you're scholars? Shame on you. See, your Muslim friends, they're a joke. They're lying to you. But now it gets worse, because now they quote a Quranic verse that we quote to prove the Bible can't be corrupted. Look at the other evidence.
Here we go. "And the word of your Lord has been accomplished truly."
Now read the part where it says, this group of scholars also said, because we want to know who's saying it. It's right there, right after where it says, revealed you.
Oh,
This group of scholars also said what?
They also said there
Brother,
are statement traditions.
this is why, Hillary, I lose viewers and you get more viewers because you're patient and I lose my patience.
What happened?
If you read where it says above, not below, above, where it says, "I believe in you and the one who revealed you," it says, this group of scholars also said, Allah said, because we want to know it's them quoting this, not me or you or my grandparents.
This group of scholars also said, Allah said, "And the word of your Lord has been accomplished truly and justly. There is none who can change his words, and he is hearing, the knowing."
And the Torah is Allah's word. They just quoted chapter 6, verse 115, Avery.
Yep.
The one we quote to show that none of the books of the Bible can be corrupted because they're the words of Allah. And the scholar said, yep, since the Torah is the word of Allah, And chapter 6, verse 115 says, Allah's words can't be corrupted. The Torah cannot be corrupted.
Yep.
Then
Okay,
now the third. There's
I'm
a
gonna
third.
leave-
Let's be fair and let him read the third group.
1 second. I'm gonna leave you off with this last question because I gotta go. Why is the Quran titled Al-Furqan, like the criterion of right and wrong?
It was the Torah. In chapter 2, verse 53, it says Moses was given Al-Furqan.
But the verse before it saying Al-Furqan, it tells you that Allah revealed the Torah and the Injil, and then He revealed.
Yeah, but
the
you didn't hear
Al-Furqan.
me. The Torah is also called Furqan. It's one of the names of the Torah.
Wait, which verse?
53. So what are you trying to assume by that? That because it's the Torah criterion, that means it exposes corruption to the Bible? Well, the Torah is called Furqan. That means I can use the Torah to expose corruption to your Quran, if I use your logic.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
In fact, the verses that you quoted, Surah Al-Imran 3:3-4, if you actually read in context, it says confirming what is between his hands, meaning whatever he had at that time. The verb for confirm, sadaqah, means to bear witness and testify, to believe in the authenticity, integrity of something or someone. It's never used negatively. So whatever Furqan means, it doesn't mean that the Quran is going to expose corruption to the Bible.
All right. Okay. I have to go right now, but
Okay, come
the
back.
next Muslim could probably talk.
Okay, come back.
Yeah, you can come back anytime, bro. Anytime.
All right, for sure.
All right. Peace.
Yeah. And for just to help you, Avery, I'm sure you've heard this. I don't know if Radar has heard it. This argument, Furqan, see, the Quran is a Furqan. It means it's a criterion. It will tell you which parts of the previous scriptures have remained intact. That's not how it's used in the Quran. And they misuse chapter 5, verse 48 in the same sense. Now, I can't bring up the passage because can you bring up 253? Because I'm going to explain to you what the Quran means when it's Muhaymin alayh, because this is another fast one. Okay, do you see right there? And we gave unto Moses the scripture and the criterion. That's Furqan. That's the word Furqan.
Yep.
So if we follow their logic, since the Torah is the Furqan and it's with us, I can use the Torah to expose that the Quran is corrupt.
Yep.
Obviously, they're not going to believe that. Now, what does Furqan mean? In the context of the Quran, its relationship to the previous scriptures, and this is what, even as Christian apologists, we have to keep in mind. Muhammad envisioned that the gospel of Jesus confirmed the Torah, but also allowed his followers to do things that the Torah forbade. Likewise, the Quran now, confirming the scriptures, saying, yeah, they're true, they're authentic. However, my revelation will allow you to do things that previous scriptures forbade or forbid you doing things that the previous scriptures allowed.
Yeah.
That's the meaning. Now, for the proof of what I just said, go to chapter 3, verse 50.
All right.
So Jesus confirms both the Torah and makes lawful things that were forbidden. It's not either or, it's both and. So that's why Christians are told, you follow the gospel, not the Torah. Because if you're a Christian and you follow the gospel, you then do what the gospel tells you to do. So if the Torah told you, hey, you don't eat camel meat, this for example, but Jesus says, yes, that was true, but I set you free, you can eat camel meat, then you eat camel meat. Chapter 3, verse 50. You'll see it. So I hope he was asking sincerely to learn. Was he? I don't know. You know more than me.
Well, yes, but the last conversation we had, he was pretty honest, and so he came back with some, he talked to someone, more knowledgeable, and he came back with these responses to see what we would say.
That's fine. But you see, the articles are there for you, Avery, for Radar on you, so you can blow up, so you can get like 5,000 live.
That's right.
Okay. Now, if you read 350, what does it say Jesus came to do?
It says, and I come confirming that which was before me of the Torah, and to make lawful some of that which was forbidden unto you.
Yeah, and by the way, the literal translation isn't confirming before me of the Torah. It's confirming what is between my hands of the Torah.
Yeah.
All right, but be that, because the reason why we want to hammer that, because he's conforming the Torah of the past. No, that's not what it says. Confirming that which is between my hands of the Torah.
Yeah.
Musaddiqan lima bayna yadayya. Anyway, okay, so it's whatever he has, he confirms. But notice, I make halal what was haram for you, right?
Yep.
So this is what it means the Quran is Furqan. it means, all right, Muslims, yeah, the Torah, gospel, perfect, uncorrupt, preserved. But you now believe in Muhammad. Christians don't believe Muhammad, they go with the gospel. Jews that don't believe in Jesus, they go with the Torah. You follow my Quran. So though these scriptures are perfect, uncorrupt, this is a revelation for you because you believe in me. So there are things those scriptures say you can do. I'm saying you can't do them anymore. Not because they are corrupted verses, because for that dispensation, that applied to those people. But if you're going to follow my dispensation, you can do this, you don't do this. This is the point. That's all it means, just like what Jesus did. And so people don't think I'm misinterpreting chapter 3, verse 50. If you go to altafsir.com, because you know how to get there. How did Jalalain and the commentary attributed to Ibn Abbas explain 350? So it's the same principle. You Christians, you don't follow Muhammad. Okay. You follow Jesus, go with your gospel. You Jews reject Jesus and Muhammad, stay with your Torah. But you Muslims, you follow Muhammad, stay with the Quran. So though the Christians were told you can do this, if you follow Muhammad, that is now forbidden for you in the wisdom of Allah. So now how does the Jalalain interpret that?
It says, likewise, I have come to you confirming that which was before me of the Torah, and to make lawful for you some of that which has been forbidden to you in it. Thus he made lawful for them fish and birds, which had no spikes. It is also said that he made it lawful for them, so that bad some.
It's full all means he made all. So in other words, Muhammad is, or I should say his followers are agreeing, Jesus set you free from kashrut, the dietary restrictions of Allah. So when the Muslims come and tell you, hey, Jesus didn't eat pig meat, why do you eat? Well, wait, your Quran says he came and set us free from that. So are you saying the Quran is wrong?
Right. It's funny.
Even Ibn Kathir, you can read Ibn Kathir. I didn't know you had it all in one place.
Yep. It's a little bit better than
Man, I like that, bro. I gotta find it. We got two guys looking bored out of their minds, Radar and Sentinel.
Well, I got somebody for Radar.
All right, I'll be listening. But yeah, just read that, so then you can go. Whatever, I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll be
I think it's
here.
this part.
I feel lonely.
No, he's not.
Yeah, make lawful to you. You find the part where it says "make lawful to you."
Yeah. Oh, here it is. This part of the ayah indicates that Isa abrogated some of the laws of the Torah and informed the Jews of the truth regarding some issues that they used to dispute about.
Oh, there you go. Abrogated some laws of the Torah. That's all it means. Doesn't mean it's corrupted. It means, okay, the scriptures, uncorrupt, preserved, but this was given for a particular dispensation. This is given for another dispensation, and so on and so forth. That's all the Quran is saying. That's it. No more, no less.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. All right.